fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. I'm enjoying the sun, but it's not too extreme in terms of heat. It's not
Yeah,
extreme.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Like I'm here with Rise Above Everything, R.A.E. So how's everything going with lockdown with you? Like how the past couple of months been for you? Like mentally, with music and just dealing with this whole madness.
It's been good, like for me, I quite enjoyed lockdown because it allowed me to be creative, especially in the kitchen. I was like learning new recipes off YouTube and then just exploring, but also like with writing as well. I was able to like think outside of the box, literally.
Yeah.
So like it allowed me to be more creative when writing. Lockdown, yeah.
So when it came to like cooking, for example, because the early stages of lockdown, like everyone had nothing really to do. I mean, because with a lot of like places closing and stuff like that, and obviously with people that are cooking, there seems to be like chefs and making banana bread, like and be able to do all that sort of stuff. Like what sort of things have you picked up as far as cooking?
I just want to say, before the banana bread became a thing, I was making banana bread 2 weeks before lockdown,
Oh
like
wow.
the whole thing. So it's just like, oh, like now, like it's a big thing. But I was actually learning like, what did I make? I made like loads of like steak recipes and like I was eating things that I never like used to eat. So like asparagus,
Okay.
um, like I was learning a new potato recipe. Oh, I learned how to make like a chicken and mushroom pie as well. So
I mean, it sounds really like juicy and like so nice in terms of hearing that. I mean, mushrooms are not really my thing though. Like I have
me
never
either,
really liked mushrooms.
me either. I just put it there for decoration. I never eat it, but it's just for everyone else.
So you like so are you by yourself then, or do you live with people?
And I live with my family,
Ah,
and I
okay,
like to
okay.
cook for my family, and they like mushrooms, but I don't. But I just, I just put it in there, but I just don't eat the mushrooms.
See, I'm so childish, yeah, in myself, right? As old as I wouldn't say old. I'm still young, but as older as I am, right? I still don't like mushrooms, but yet my mum will insist in cooking them. But the way she'll do it is that she'll chop it finely, so that I don't notice
Oh,
that it's within the food in the first place. So
oh,
I think some of my taste buds are not matured as of yet. I don't think.
okay, yeah.
Do you
Sorry
feel?
about
Do you?
that.
Well, I mean, some bits have matured it, but not completely. So, do you feel like the same with you in terms of like now that you're cooking other things that you're adjusting to new tastes that you never really expected before?
Not really. The newest thing I tried was asparagus. So
Yeah.
like I really did like that. But like mushrooms, I just think it's something I'm never gonna like. Um yeah, it's just got a weird taste.
And
And
it's
strawberries, I tried strawberries as well. I've had strawberries before, but I really don't like strawberries. And I tried
really
them again in lockdown and it just confirmed to me that I still don't like strawberries.
maybe you should try like strawberries with chocolate, as in like
I, I don't
heated
like
chocolate.
chocolate like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, so if it comes to like desserts and stuff, like what would be your dessert of choice? Because it seems like chocolate's out, it seems like strawberries out. So what sort of vibes are you coming with food wise, like desserts?
I don't like dessert either.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
very like I don't like
So you're
ice
more a savory
cream. Like
girl.
yeah, I do like say like I'm more like I like sweets,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't really go out of my way to buy sweets. And tell you like I love Mars bars,
Okay.
but
Okay.
that's it. Like, but I don't really like chocolate. Like I hate chocolate cake, and I'm not a big fan of desserts as well. Like at restaurants, I'll be the only one who doesn't order dessert because I just can't deal with it.
Well,
And
I
ice
mean,
cream, I only like bubblegum ice cream from the ice cream shop.
wow. Okay. Well, I mean, at least like that's one meal you don't have to deal with. Then, if you're at a
Yeah.
restaurant, you're like check please, my part is done. Let's go. I'm done. But I mean, going into stuff you do like first of all, I've got to big up your management because when I approached you and I saw your social media and I heard your music and I thought, yeah, I've got to get R.A.E on the channel. I've got to get her on the channel. and I contacted management like I do with everyone that we like to interview, and not realizing that Ibrahim from Guap, who I know pretty well, actually manages you. So I've got to big
Yeah.
him up first of all. Like how did that connection come? Because obviously they've got their venture with Guap Mag, and you got your vibe as an artist. Like how did the connection come?
So Ibrahim and I actually like, I wouldn't say we were, no, we were kind of like friends, but I would say we were like more than acquaintances. And then actually one day we were at a party, and I don't know, I just started rapping to him randomly, and he was like, "Oh, like you're actually like really cool, like good." And then like we kept in touch in terms of music. And then one day he was like, "Oh, can I be your manager?" And I was like, "I don't know." And
You
then
was like you were
later,
powering him off at first.
yeah, and then later on I was like, "Do you know what? Yeah, like why not?" And then like, yeah, that's legit how you became a manager. I was,
So how
yeah,
long
through
how long has
WhatsApp.
he worked with you now?
For a year and a, yeah, like a year and a half.
Well, that's good. That's definitely good looks, man. If 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 he's managed you for a year and a half, and your career's going really smoothly so far, like you got someone that's after your best interest. So big up
Yeah,
to Ibrahim.
yeah.
You know, I've heard some of your music, but what instantly draws me to you is your presentation. Now, obviously, for me, I love, I'm a nostalgic person. I love, 90s R&B hip hop. That was kind of my flavors. I mean, there was a mixture of like old school garage and house and, bashment and other genres in there. But R&B was my flavor. Like, obviously, there were times like, I can get in my own feelings, listen to certain tracks. And instantly, when I saw your presentation on social media, it took me back instant. And that was, of course, I've heard your music, but like even the presentations was enough to go, that's instantly taking me back. Was that a conscious decision when you entered music as a means to like, this is what I want to bring out to the world, essentially?
So the whole like 90s aesthetic has kind of always been my style.
Mm,
So I'm literally just being myself
mm,
with music added. But like in terms of like my image, I was like, yeah, like I want people to, when people see me, I want them to feel like they've gone back in time, but just in the modern day.
mm.
So yeah, that's like what I try to execute, like with my image, especially my videos.
And I love your freestyles as well. Like even before we even came on, the Do for Love freestyle, gosh, like when I heard that, that got me in a zone. That and the thing is with music like nowadays, like there are certain tracks that get you in a certain mood, and obviously genres do, change over time and stuff. But when I hear like if I go back to that time frame at times, it's like you can't beat it. You can't beat it. It's always there. Um, I want to take it back a bit. So you started music fully like in 2017, 2018.
Like professionally,
Yes.
2019.
Okay, so I got my sources wrong, but so it's been a year and a bit, pretty much, that you got into it professionally. But I'm aware that you were fully immersed with music at a young age. Like you did your first song at the age of 10, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that was like my first one.
of course, like TLC, MC Light are some of your influences. Like, were they the sort of tracks that were played in the house consistently? Give me the vibe of what music was like in the family household.
So in like growing up, my parents played a lot of gospel.
Okay.
But it was my sister who, she was born in the 80s. So in the 90s, she was like a little bit of a teenager.
Mm,
She would play like TLC, Brandy,
mm,
Monica,
mm,
The Brat, MC Light, all them artists. And I would just like kind of listen in the background, like, okay, what's this is kind of sounds cool. And then like later on in life, I kind of started to research these people more because I was really interested. Like from like 12, 13, I was just researching them,
mm,
like especially TLC because I'm a massive fan of
mm.
TLC. So
I
yeah,
saw your I saw one of your recent tweets that said that if there was a versus battle and TLC was involved, you'd be like, find me a way to get me there.
yeah. So if you know like NS 10v10,
Yes.
like when they do their verses, like their versus battles, I was like, oh my gosh, if they're gonna do a TLC one, I want to represent TLC because they are my girls. Like seriously.
What was it about TLC? Was it like the group dynamic? Was it the melodies? Was it the singing? Was it the fashion? What was it about TLC that really drew you in?
For TLC, I just loved how like each of them were legit their own individual. Like they weren't like a carbon copy of each other, like
Mm,
kind of like a robotic group. They were literally free and themselves. They all had their different styles. They all sounded different. Like like they just all kind of like individually took you on a story, but as a group. And I just loved how like they wore like oversized clothing and
mm,
they didn't like they didn't like go the stereotypical way of like how society is supposed to view like a woman. Back
mm.
then they literally was like, you know what, I'm doing my own thing. And that's what I love about them, is that they're just their own people.
So was that the catalyst essentially for, you know, what got you into, like, well, I mean, you've always had that way about you, but was that the catalyst for the, you know, the fashion outlet that you would, you know, show off screen as well as on screen?
Yeah, for me, like I wanted to show people like you can you can dress how you like and be free and still be able to make an impact with your music. Because like a lot of like the women that do music, they kind of dress how you expect a woman to dress in
Yeah, so like
music.
sexy, you know, like, you
Yeah,
know, figure all out, like bum out, you know, legs out,
yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
But for me, because I'm like really shy as well,
Mm,
wearing stuff like that would just not like it would really put me out of my comfort zone, and it's not how I dress
mm,
anyway. And I wanted to show people like you can still talk about things like that and but not have to dress like that, or
mm.
like just talk about things in general in your music and still be yourself in big oversized clothing.
So for you, it's kind of like, you know, you want to have your music as something that you leave it behind as a legacy and not, I mean, of course, like, obviously the, you know, the focus is on you as especially because obviously this is something we've not seen, you know, since the 80s and 90s. And this is like, you know, a resurgence of that sort of flavor. But it sounds like for you that you want more of it, your music to have impact as opposed to, you know, you not wanting to dress up like how we would see our, you know, female artists at the moment would dress like, to add addition to I guess like to bring sex appeal to the thing. And so it seems like for you you're not really about that.
No. Yeah, I'm more of like the music.
Mm,
And like I really believe that I'm making timeless music.
mm,
And I feel like you can have the like you can dress a certain way, have the image, but it's the music that speaks for you.
mm.
And so like I like for me, I definitely want, like, even if I'm not doing it anymore, I still want my music to live on.
No,
Yeah.
I hear that. I hear that because it's not always having to go so obvious and have a mark on the industry as because I was watching something like Marshmello, like he was presented with I think it was that mask that he put on his head, and no one knows what he looks like. But his music impacts so much. It's just like people have drawn to him based on his presentation alone, and obviously with your resurgence of, you know, like the fashion and the music that you like, that you're bringing it into the service. So it's like, you know, yeah, focus on me, but make sure you focus on my music as well.
Yeah, literally.
I hear that. So in your music video WAI, which I noticed, there was quite a lot of posters on your wall. Now, firstly, was that like, is that genuinely set up in terms of that, or was that for the music video?
Um, it was for the music video because I wanted to, because it was like my bedroom.
Hmm.
It was actually a rented Airbnb, but
Okay.
I wanted to create an aesthetic of a 90s bedroom. So I just put up like pictures of artists from the 90s.
Right, and one of those posters I noticed was Keenan and Kel, and
Yeah,
that was one of my shows from back in the day. Like, got My Wife and Kids, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, One on One. I could go forever. Like, was Keenan and Kel one of your favorite shows growing up?
no. I did like I remember watching them a little bit, but not enough to say it was my favorite. Like
What would you say is your favorite shows then, if you were on that vibe?
Moesha,
Oh, can't beat it.
100 Moesha, the Hooglies, um, my brother and me,
Mm.
um, hanging with Mr. Cooper,
Cooper, oh my
cousin
gosh, yes, we are going
Scooter.
back. Yeah, ironically, we are going
Yeah,
back, and this is like the
yeah,
best period of like TV black comedy. Like I've been watching a lot of it as of late, and it's just you just can't beat it.
yeah, literally.
You know?
No, man, we need those shows back.
Yeah, like it's always a thing where like when there's something that's going on, like you might be watching TV or on YouTube and stuff like that, but like the shows from like the 90s, the 2000s, sometimes even the 80s, in I call it my generation, like it's something it's what's considered a classic. You can never dismiss it. You can't just watch it once and that's it. You always put yourself back in watching it all the time.
Yeah.
I hear that. So with your name, R.A.E. Let's get into that. So rise above everything. I've done a little bit of digging, and it turns out that you kind of came up with the name because there was a period of time before you got into music properly that it was kind of like a dark period that you were feeling depressed. And I mean, without going into too much detail, like what was it for you at that point before you got into the transition of going into music professionally and having that mantra of rise above everything?
So like, like when you finish like uni, um, it's kind of like a period where you really don't know what you want to do.
Mm,
And I personally didn't want to go into the field that I studied. So I studied social policy and deaf studies at uni.
okay.
And I really didn't want to go like do anything with that degree. I wanted to like be a creative. But when you've got like African parents, they're like, oh, you need to, you know, like get a job, whatever. And so I was really depressed because like when you're not doing something that you want to do, it's a really depressing like stage. So I
Mm,
was just like sitting in my room one day, like really sad, crying. And I was like, do you know what, Rachel? Well, actually, I said, Ray, you're gonna rise above everything. And then I paused and I was like, hold on, this is like a really good acronym.
mm,
But I changed rise to rising
mm,
because I was like, I want to continue to rise above a problem.
mm.
So R.A.E actually stands for rising above everything.
Okay.
Um,
Because it's like
yeah,
a continuous journey that you're rising above
yeah,
any challenges that you may face.
yeah, and that's how I came up with the name.
Okay, okay. This is what I like. Is like there's you because sometimes names are like from either like your government names or some next name that they just thought of on a drunken night or something like that. But in your case, it was taken from a serious moment in your life to get to this is what I am going to present as my name to the world.
Yeah,
Awesome. Now obviously like with with your music videos, as we talked about earlier, like your fashion, your music is very very distinctive. Were you always were you always a tomboy in that respect where the type of clothes you you wouldn't consider yourself being a dress girl, would you?
um, I feel like I wear a dress like once a year, like
Right, okay.
twice a year. Um,
Would you be one of those girls that will wear a dress with maybe some trainers or something? Or would you go the whole shebang, like a dress with heels.
Yeah, I would probably do the whole shebang. But like,
Mm.
I really don't like wearing heels because I'm flat-footed, so it really hurts. But
I
yeah,
don't know
like
how girls do it, to be
me
honest.
either. Me either. It's weird because I wouldn't consider myself a tomboy because I love like makeup
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I do like wearing like even if like I might wear a top that's not as baggy, it might be tight, but my trousers will be baggy. So
yeah.
um is this just an element of my clothing that has to have like that has to be baggy.
Mm.
I would just consider I consider myself between a I put myself on a scale. It's like it's between a girl and a tomboy.
Right. So it's
So
kind of
I'm
like
like
that
in
in
the
between.
middle. Yeah, so I'm not like a tomboy and I'm not a girly girl, but I'm legit in the middle.
So you have the best of both worlds, really, in
Yeah, pretty
retrospect.
much.
Because there's some girls that are like girly girls, the princess type, and then you have girls that are literally very tomboyish in their approach, like we big up one of the man them and stuff like that. But you
Yeah,
got that crossover, so you can kind of go into all types of personalities, I guess.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, I mean, with the current landscape in music, if you were to go back in time, and the music obviously you make is reflective of the era being the 80s and 90s of music, and obviously with sounds changing, there's new genres that are added. And there was a time frame where R&B, like true R&B, had like its time period, but then kind of progressed into like dance music, and it wasn't really, you couldn't really be in your feelings with music. It had to be like updated. And then there's other like genres like trap, there's drill, there's grime that's out there, and other modern sounds. For you, making this nostalgic sound on your end, did you feel conscious that you wanted to make music that would bring back an era into 2020?
Yeah, so funny you said that in my Do for Love freestyle.
Mm,
No, not Do for Love. Yeah, it is Do for Love, sorry. I say a line, I go, what did I say? I don't remember what I said, but at the line after it goes, bringing back an era people said was done and over.
yeah.
Because a lot of people say like, oh, the 90s has been done. But
Mm,
I don't believe that things end. I feel like you can just revamp it and
mm,
continue its legacy. So for me, I was like, I want to create a nostalgic sound, but it still be modern.
mm.
And I feel like well, if I'm not doing it, I feel like I'm trying my hardest to do that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're definitely doing that. Like, you're definitely bringing impact to bringing to this time frame of something that was, call it almost a golden era of time when it came to music, and you're kind of bringing that back. And I think it's unique to see that someone is doing that, but consciously bringing it back, but in a sense that this is true to you and how your personality, how you're bringing yourself out. This is the vibes you're bringing, and it's not like it's forced because you're trying to bring back an era, but it's something that is conscious in your mind anyway, that you want to do it for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, literally.
Well,
I needed people to remember what it was like to feel good and to relate to music. Yeah.
and of course, like, that's got you to quite a few good places. You won the Glastonbury Festival Emerging Talent Competition. Got you a couple of bags, a couple of bags, and then you're getting to perform at Glastonbury next year. That is
Yeah.
amazing, because that is just like a almost 100,000 people sort of arena. Like, when you got the notification that you won the competition, how did you feel?
Actually, I didn't even get the well, I did, but I wasn't online. It was my manager who called me. He was like, "Oh, we won," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was actually funny enough. I was actually making banana cake.
How ironic, we were talking about banana bread and banana cake, and this
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
I was actually making it, and he was like, "Oh, we won." I was like, "Oh, what? Seriously?" So I went on Twitter, and I just had so many notifications. I was like, "Oh my gosh, we actually won!" So when I quote tweeted, I don't remember what I wrote, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, I won," or something like
What?
that. I was like really like wow, like really happy. Like I can't believe I won because I initially I was put in the competition by my manager and I had no clue.
Oh,
So it was
it was one of them ones he wanted to surprise you.
yeah, he applied for me and I just got an email that was longlisted and I was like, what? I didn't apply for
You
this.
must have been confused. They're thinking like, what sort of shit is it? What's going on? Like, I don't understand. And then obviously the element of surprise, like Ibrahim just called you and said, "Oh yeah, you won." By the way, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you've won this. I sorted it for you. I got you patterned. Don't worry.
Low, low. No,
Did
but it
you?
was a great experience. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy. Yeah.
No, I could definitely see you're happy from that, and then obviously that's just only gonna like elevate you further. Like you've had a idea of festivals already. Like you done Part Life. Was it last year? Was it? It was through last year,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
How
last year.
how was that experience? Like doing. Was it a first festival you've ever done?
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
That was really, really good. Like, to be fair, like I was even surprised that like Represent Radio chose me to be on their stage.
Mm,
Because Damn Jermaine had come out in February and then in like March they were like, yeah, you're gonna be on the stage. And I was like,
wow,
well, okay.
wow.
And it like the experience, like it was so cool. Like I could get used to this from like being driven in like them like buggy cart things. Like I used to
I've never had that yet. I still listen. I've been in this industry around for about 7 years, and I've never had a buggy experience. Festivals, can you please get me the buggy experience? I want to get the. All right. If anything, yeah, I'll try. If I can find a way to get myself there, I'll slide in with you. Yeah, how about that one?
yeah, yeah, you're welcome.
Thank, appreciate that.
Yeah, like being in the buggy, it was like, oh my
Mm,
gosh, I used to like, I see this on TV, like
mm,
that's so cool. And then like going on the stage, there was actually a crowd, and I wasn't expecting there to be a crowd. Like
mm,
like what I liked about the festival is that even though if people haven't heard of you, they were willing to like give you a listen,
mm.
and
Definitely.
that really made me happy. Even if there was just one person in the audience, I would have been happy. But
Mm.
like the fact that there was actually like a crowd, it was like, oh wow, this is cool. It was just a really like surreal moment.
The crowds are only going to get bigger for you. So I mean, just
Thank
like you
you.
said, rising above everything, the
Yeah,
mantra. So the crowds are going to get bigger for you. So that's what you're rising to for sure.
yeah.
And I noticed in a lot of your music videos that you're very much a woman that supports black women. You're very much a person that drives black women to the forefront. I mean, black people, full stop. You showcase a lot of black women and black men. And I wanted to get your thoughts on. I mean, of course, the past couple of months have been crazy. Of course, like unfortunate killing of George Floyd, and obviously the protests that have been going on. Like we've already known the story of how that came to be. And it's kind of mad how black people are still being treated now. With all of that to the forefront. What do you think needs to happen for us to gain full equality and stop all the mistreatment?
Oh mate, it's I don't actually know, but I feel like I feel like we just need to keep speaking and fighting until like because I feel like it is working
Mm,
with the whole protest. Like a lot of like organizations, companies have like they've heard our cry and that they've like for example even in employment they've employed like a lot more like black people in their companies. A lot of petitions, like a lot of cases have reopened. um they're being looked at. um it's just like I just feel like I don't personally know what it is we have to keep doing, but what we're doing right now seems to be working. And that's like the peaceful protests, stuff like that. But it's also, I think as well, like we need to educate our peers,
mm,
especially like young people, like if they can educate their parents on what's going on,
mm.
so that they can like like address the situation better than how they would have initially addressed it. And we have to do better for the next generation after us as well.
100%. I've been saying it constantly. It is about education. Of course, like it's you can educate from the beginning and make sure that kids get, the best advice, the best, walkthroughs to life. But of course, when out of the parents' home and seeing their own visions and their own influences, it's down to the next generation to kind of maintain that that level of stability to keep us level field and to allow us to be equal within our own rights and to just live life happily, man, without no bullshit. Really, to be honest, I
Literally.
feel it starts from from children for sure. And I'm glad I got your perspective on that. Yeah, definitely education and definitely conversations for sure. Um, have you been? I mean, of course, like your, let's go back to music for a minute. And of course, like your influences, being MC Light, TLC, a lot of American female groups and artists. Have is there any like UK influences that you grew up with as well?
Spice Girls.
Oh wow!
Um,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
I was
okay.
a very big Spice Girls fan. I'm pretty. I don't know if this was like their brand or it was just like, when like a market store just make their own thing up. But
Yeah,
they there was a collection of shoes, and it was like these like sandals for girls, but they were Spice Girl sandals, and I
yeah.
had every single one. But I'm not sure if that was just from the market or like it was real. But like I had that. Who else did I see? I was like a really big Spice Girls fan, and I don't know. I don't actually know who else I listened to like growing up here.
Yeah. What's your favorite Spice Girls song of all time then?
Um, this is hard.
Or you can choose three if you struggle on one.
Three. So Wannabe.
That's what started
Um,
them off, of course.
oh, I think okay. I'm gonna go Viva Forever.
Okay, I do like that one actually. Yeah, it's like a mellow. You didn't expect it from the Spice Girls because they were quite bubbly, and then when they did that, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, they're going a bit deeper, a bit darker here. Okay.
And I can't remember the name of the song, but the song that they made when they were breaking up.
Oh, I think. Yeah,
I
I
thought it
think
was
I
cool.
can't remember. I can't remember the name, but I know what you're talking. That was like towards the end of their tenure together,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, I
yeah.
think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, but yeah, okay, Spice Girls. Okay, would that be like a dream collaboration, or like who would actually be your dream collaboration if you wanted to work with someone?
Does this person do they have to be alive?
Uh Alive or dead?
If the,
Let's go with dead first. Like, if there was someone that is no longer here with us, who would you have liked to have collaborated with?
100% Left Eye
Oh,
from TLC.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
100%.
oh yeah.
And alive, I would love to. Oh, actually, I would love to collab with Little Sims.
Okay, do you know what? I like that. I like the concept. I like the concept because she, in some ways, has a not. I'm not saying similar to you as an artist, but like some elements that you could combine it. It would really work. I could
Yeah,
actually see that already. That would be sick.
I'm a massive fan of Little Sims.
Mm.
Yeah, but I'm
What?
trying to
What?
think. If it wasn't
What?
Little Sims, I
Mm.
think I'd go with uh who would I go with actually? I don't know. Scissor.
Ooh, that would be a good one as well. So
Yeah,
You got Scissor. You got Little Sims. You got Left Eye if she was alive. God bless her.
yeah.
Do you know what's fun? Like in my head, I'm thinking already. Like if it was you, Little Sims, and Aaliyah,
Okay.
that sort of vibe, that would almost be like UK and US, era, new era. Do you know what I mean? That like I'm just thinking ideas already. It's crazy.
No, that would be sick.
That'd be
That'd be
crazy,
sick.
man. And of course, got to talk about your new single, Summer Love. We're still in the midst of the summer, even though it's been crazy as far as sunny, then raining, then sunny.
Yeah.
And in this case, like you're showcasing more of your singing, and you definitely bring that nostalgia vibe. You're certainly maintaining that. When I saw the video, I'm instantly thinking 702 Stilo as far as inspirations, like the basketball
Okay.
court and the girls chilling and those close-up shots and stuff. Like, was that inspired by that in any way, or was there any particular inspiration when you made the video and the track?
So the video, I didn't actually come up with the concept this time. It was Sonder Films that I worked with.
Okay.
They came up with the concept. So I don't know, maybe they saw 702 and they they kind of pieced it together. But
Yeah.
with the song, no, actually now thinking about it, there's a sample in there that came from SWV
I was
that
kind of thinking
my
that. Yeah.
yeah. And then that song, I actually wrote it when it was raining. So there
Mm.
was like kind of no, like I was just imagining what it would be like if it was hot when I wrote the song.
Mm.
So I didn't know like where there was kind of no like I didn't really have like an inspiration in mind when I was writing the song.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like maybe it's the SWV element in there that gives that off.
No, I can definitely see some of those auras in there, especially in the video too. And what I like about it is, with the vibes you bring, especially with Summer Love, is that in my head I can go back in time and remember when, having crushes, having love affairs, relationships, dating, I mean, let's be real, love making on the nostalgic vibes. For me, like in that time frame was so much easier for me. Like I can go back and just think what an easier time it was, where obviously now you have social media and everyone's trying to make a front and stuff like that. Like, do you ever feel any sort of pressure when it comes to social media to like to bring an appearance? Because I mean, it sounds like for you, you've always maintained this is you unapologetically. But has there ever been any pressures to do more outside of what you know to kind of appeal to more audiences, or do you just think, I'm keeping to me, and this is how I'm going to present myself?
No, I've definitely just said I'm keeping to me. Like
Mm,
growing up, I've always been that kid. Like I don't want something that everybody else has.
mm,
So like if everybody had the latest phone, I'd want the phone that everybody didn't have. Um, Stuff like that. If everyone bought this top from Primark, I will get a different top from Primark. Like
I
I've
hear
just
you.
always been like that. It's like everyone's doing like kind of like the same sounds. I was like, nope, I want to do what is me, and I know eventually people will catch on. Like I'm
Mm,
not fussed about like people catching on straight away. Like I've always said, I'm not expecting immediate gratification. So
mm.
just do me.
So again, rising above everything.
Yeah,
So we go back to the mantras. So the mantra is you're keeping the consistency with you and how you want to present yourself, and then obviously with the music it follows, and then everyone else will follow along with you.
yeah,
I hear
literally.
I hear you. Like I like your vibes, man. I like the fact that are very much like you said, unapologetically you. You're not trying to force anything. This is something that's naturally built to you, and it's not something that you're trying to please a certain audience. You do it purely because you like it.
Yeah.
I hear that. So, I mean, what's the future looking like for you? I mean, of course, like with the end of the year approaching, and obviously with still an unpredictable time right now. I mean, I would have guessed that there were more plans for you to do shows before like lockdown hit. Was there plans of that before that came into place?
Um, I don't think so. I know that hopefully I'm supposed to be performing in Barcelona in November. Um I've got an EP coming out next month that I
Yeah.
just finished today
Oh, so you
in the
finished
studio.
2 days. So literally, it's all completed 2 days.
Yeah.
Everything's all packaged up and everything.
Yeah, like literally came home from the studio and was like straight on to Zoom.
So literally, we talking right now. Your EP's finished and it's just ready to go out. Like it's in September, right? That you're looking to release
Yeah,
it.
September, yeah.
And the title of the EP is "Listen Up."
Yeah, listen up.
So I'm assuming from the title is literally just as it says in the title, like
Listen
almost
up.
kind of like the vibes of the old school sort of lingo that you're bringing to it, but it's just Listen
Yeah,
up.
listen up. Like, I'm talking about some real things on this one. Like, still with a vibe. So
So
if
you're
you want
still
me to pull
maintaining
up,
that. So I mean, I
yeah,
actually can't wait to, to hear the project and what you're coming up with, and it's something like unique. I've heard a lot of tracks from different artists, but it's nice to know that I can go back in time with the
yeah,
vibes you bring, so then I can have a mixture of old school flavors, but in 2020, and I'm assuming that's
yeah,
always going to be the case for you.
yeah,
I hear
yeah.
that. I hear that. I hear that. Well, I mean, before I let you go, with every artist that I chat with, I am a bit of a Twitter stalker.
Okay.
So I know that you tweet certain things, and just have a little bit of fun. So we're just gonna, say out some tweets and just get your perspective of what you mean. Just have a little bit of fun. All right.
Okay.
So, the first one I got is, I mean, it was probably from a day when this happened, but these pineapples I'm eating smell of vomit.
Yeah. It was like literally the other day I bought pineapples from Tesco and they just smelled like I bought pineapples from Tesco, but the expiry date wasn't until like yesterday, I think. But like they just really tasted like they didn't taste that well and it smelled like vomit as well. And I was like, no, I can't finish this. I was so upset because I really do like pineapples.
Right. Okay. But has that put you off pineapples entirely, or is it just like just
Nah,
that moment in time?
it was just that one. Yeah.
So they put the bad batch, and you just unfortunately picked it up, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
All right then. Next one is I'm sweating in places I never knew I could sweat. This heat, fam, faced with cold sweat.
Man, like
I mean, the heat
I
wave has
was
not been the best in terms of, what I mean. It's just this country is just a bit mad.
no, like literally like I was dripping like from like it's so weird because like I don't sweat much, but
Right.
like that heat wave, I was sweating. I was sweating from behind my ears. I
Oh
was
dear.
sweating like legit like my neck like was dripping.
Oh dear.
My thighs were sweating.
Oh dear.
Like it was just weird. Like I've never like sweat like in those places before. So
Listen,
it's just
put it this way, right? So I with this hair, right? With this, well, lack of it. Well, I mean, I do grow it, but I just cut it off.
oh,
Literally,
okay.
I felt that this was a pool. Like, I'm literally saying a pool. You know when you go to the swimming pool and you literally go to the deep end? I felt like I was at the deep end on my head, on my entire
Yeah,
body, and I'm thinking, nah, it's uncomfortable, man. Really uncomfortable.
really. It
Mad
was
thing.
too hot, man.
Well, I mean, it's cooled down a bit, but it's still, well, let's just see how the next couple of months hold up.
Yeah,
Chuckle Vision was really my childhood.
yeah. You know the show Chuckle
I
Vision?
love Chuckle Vision. Chuckle Vision. Chuckle Vision. Even the intro was mad.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
'cause I don't know, like I was just thinking about them. I don't know if I saw a picture of one of them. I was just randomly thinking about them. And I was like, no, Chuckle Vision was actually like I remember coming home from school and being excited to turn on um the channel and being like, oh, Chuckle Vision. And then after Chuckle Vision would be Tracy Beaker.
Oh, right.
And
Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah, so like I always looked forward to watching those two like after primary school.
Yeah. Oh man, for me, it was like every morning before going to school as a kid, it was Sesame Street, and
Okay.
then there was like cartoons like Dexter's Laboratory, and then there was like Ed and Eddie, Cow and Chicken.
I love
Art Attack was one of my favorite shows
yeah.
on CITV back in the day when
What TV?
I've heard some things that Neil Buchanan was doing a madness like as of recently, but I'm thinking like I don't want to believe it because it's like yo
Yeah, the
like
Art Attack guy, I thought he died.
yeah no but I thought he might have done the madness before he passed. I don't know, but like that was my
I
time
think
frame.
they
I
replaced him though.
sorry.
They replaced the guy that died.
Ah, nah, it's not
I
the
think.
same. When you have someone original, you can't. It's dead out from then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You can't beat what's original. Like in your case, you're being original. You can't beat what's original.
yeah,
Being a cheapskate is a blessing and a curse, man. Why am I always scared to buy things?
yeah. So like
Do
I
you
don't know,
hold
like
yourself
I
back a lot in terms of like, because you mentioned before, like you're slightly shy, but like what you wear is like that's what brings the most confidence to you. But like, is it anything to do with that in that sort of way?
no, not really. Like I don't know, like I've just have this thing with money. Like like I only like to buy things which I feel like are worth the price.
Right.
But
Okay.
like when something's just like I don't personally on my I don't spend more than like £40 on myself in like anything. So
Really?
like I went to buy
Okay.
trainers because my manager was like, oh, like just treat yourself to trainers, like you've done so
He's
much.
right though. He's right.
I was like I bought Air Forces, they were 89 pounds,
Right.
something like that. I was shaking at the till. Like
Wow.
I can't buy, like I can't think to spend that much on trainers. Like
Yeah.
it's just so much. So like it's like being a cheapskate is good because you can save money and stuff. Like I love a
Mm.
deal, like I love a bargain. But like buying things like that, it's like, oh, like
Um. Big Heath is so wavy.
yeah. I was watching, like I've heard of Big Heath before. I'm not actually sure when I wrote that tweet. I think I must have wrote it when they did the virtual wireless.
Mm.
I think, or I don't know when that tweet was. Was that tweet recent?
Yeah. I think it was a few months ago.
Okay. Either that or I was watching this Fire in the Booth. One of them.
Okay.
But yeah, like he's just so like cool. Like he kind of reminds me of like old school as well. Like like his flow and like the way he writes.
Mm.
Like I really do like Big Heath.
Okay, and he is definitely wavy for sure, man. Like I
Yeah.
do like his flow, especially like that it's just his like he's not putting on an accent. It's just him. That this is
Yeah.
is full raw him like you are as well. Um, Asico plantain crisps are top tier.
So what did you say?
I said Asico plantain
Oh
crisps are
yeah.
top tier.
Yeah. So Asico is a brand of like plantain chips,
Mm.
and yeah, they're just nice.
I should.
Like I
I
feel like
have I had plantain. Plantain. Why am I saying plantain? I'm Jamaican. Plantain. Yeah.
no,
Do you say it is plantain or plantain?
I say plantain.
Ah, see that we might not fully get along then because I say it as plantain because that's how
Yeah,
it.
sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe that's an opposite there, but you were saying that the plantain crisps are top tier. Like are you a lover of like plantain in general?
You know what is so weird? I don't like plantain, but I like it when it's not ripe. Like I don't like ripe anything.
Right.
So when it's like I like plantain when it's like hard, like not too hard, but like hard enough. But when it's ripe, it's like ugh. And I don't go out of my way to buy plantain unless like my mum sends me to the market like to buy it. But I would never go out of my way to buy plantain. Like,
Okay.
I'd rather eat the crisps.
Okay. So the crisps are there, but plantain not so much.
Yeah.
Okay, hey. Last one. Sometimes I randomly think about how I learned how to tell the time on an analog clock in French.
Yeah.
That
So
felt so random, But what did you mean by that?
so I really struggled to tell the time on a clock. I could
Right,
only tell the time digitally. And in French in year 9, we were learning time in French.
right.
And it was in French that I learned how to tell the time.
Wow. Okay, so from your French lessons that you got from that was how you were able to tell, from a physical clock what time it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Mad, mad,
I know.
mad, mad. I mean, there was anything crazy that I learned at school that I took away. I mean, probably food technology was the only few, yeah, I guess a few things that got taught from there, but that was about it really. So, you know, but it is what it is. As long as you're able to tell the time now on both ends, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, R.A.E., it's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you. Was pretty excited to chat with you, and knowing that the vibes that you're coming with, like, I'm happy that you took the time to speak to me. So thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this interview.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I mean, obviously, you got your project Listen Up in September. Obviously, time of recording, it's finished, so that'll be out soon. Have you got anything else coming up for you that we can expect from you?
Um, Music videos,
Just more of them.
more music videos, and yeah, I've got an LP coming out next year.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right. And of course, you got,
Glastonbury.
Glastonbury. Hopefully, everything, lifts up and, by
Yeah,
then. So, yeah, Glastonbury, that should be like a pinnacle for you because obviously that's
yeah,
the big monster stage.
yeah. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Well, I know you got more famous shit to do, so I ain't gonna hold you up much longer. If you can tell our
No.
audience where they can catch you on all the socials, the floor is yours.
So you can find me at it's R_A_E, and that is my Twitter and Instagram. And if you type R.A.E, you can find me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, the whole shebang.
Well, this girl is the future. Check out her freestyles. Check out her music videos. She's bringing an era back, so please watch out for this one. She's a force to be reckoned with, and as someone we need to watch for in the future. So make sure you check out R.A.E. Rising above everything, as the mantra we said earlier.
Yeah.
J Billz for Media Spotlight UK with the beautiful R.A.E. to rise above everything, and I'm out. Peace.
Thank you. Peace.